So today we are very fortunate that we are having His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhuji to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam. So I will briefly introduce Prabhuji. His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhuji was born in Mysore in Madhav Brahmin family in 1973. He was brought up in Andhra Pradesh in a very orthodox family where he developed natural taste for query into the miseries of God's creation. And then in his college, as a cadet, he came in touch with the devotees of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Then he found that all the unanswered questions were completely satisfied in the books of Srila Prabhupada. And while he was studying, he read Bhagavad Gita 5 times and mastered the Gaudiya Vaishnava Vedanta philosophy in a very short period of 2 years, and was initiated into the Brahman as a Brahm Madhav Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He joined the Merchant Navy as an engineer officer and worked for 3 years, but then he felt the urge to teach the message of Gita to children and youth who were misguided by the consumerism. So he gave up his job and joined ISKCON Mira Road. And then now he is currently the co-president of ISKCON Mira Road, and he is also a visiting professor in MS University for Management and Social Work faculties. And he also conducts seminars on personality development topics in educational and corporate sectors. And his only concern is the children and youth should understand the moral and spiritual values as enunciated in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving a valuable association. Prabhuji, are you present on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We are very fortunate to have you on the call. So now I would like to hand over the call to you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Jayam Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Patreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki. I was asked to speak from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 2, text number 29 and 30. Nastasya Muradiyo Jata Tasmasti Dharinaha Vishanto Shivadikshayam Yatra Daivam Surasavam. Nastasya, cleanliness being abundant. Mudadya, foolish. Jata Bhashma Asti Dharinaha, wearing long hair, ashes and bones. Vishantu, may enter. Shivadikshayam, into initiation of worship of Lord Shiva. Yatra, where Daivam are spiritual, Suratavam, wine and liquor. Translation interpreted by Grand Great A.T. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those who go to worship Lord Shiva are so foolish that they imitate him by keeping long hair on their heads. When initiated into worship of Lord Shiva, they prefer to live on wine, flesh, and other substances. Purport: indulging in wine and meat, keeping long hair on one's head, not bathing daily, and smoking ganja are some of the habits which are accepted by foolish creatures who do not have regulated lives. By such behavior, one becomes devoid of transcendental knowledge. In the initiation into Shiva Mantra, there are Mudrikashtaka, in which it's sometimes recommended that one makes his sitting is on vagina and thus desire nirvana, a dissolution of existence. In the process of worship, wine is needed. And sometimes, in place of wine, palm tree juice, which is converted into intoxicant. It is also offered according to Shaiva Agama, a scripture on the method of worshipping Lord Shiva. यक्षगणनिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं दर्शनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सर्वमिता श्रीशान्तान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। सप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गिराजे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विशदानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna to all of you. This is the first time I am doing this class in this particular group. So the section which we are hearing every day these days is a very interesting section where there are so many courses and counter courses going on. And somebody may think, what is this going on in Bhagavatam? Each one is pursuing each other. Especially, there's so much revered Brahmana, Vidu is pursuing here. And not only that, Nandishwara, he started pursuing. And Nandishwara is a very dear devotee of Lord Shiva. He is the carrier of Lord Shiva. And how is it that these purposes and the counter purposes are all going on? That too in the Bhagavatam, there is a hell of discussion, so much of discussion about so many verses talk about these verses and the counter purposes. Now let us see the purpose behind it. For that we need to know the background of the fourth canto of Bhagavatam. The background of the fourth canto of Bhagavatam is in the third canto, where Lord Kapila tells Devayati that there are four kinds of devotional service. Devotional service in mode of ignorance, devotional service in mode of passion, devotional service in mode of goodness, and pure and non-devotional service. So these four devotional services have to be explained with an example, which example means it's a story which has actually happened in the past. So this is the example of a devotee who actually performed devotional service in mode of ignorance. This is the example of a devotee who performed devotional service in mode of passion. And this is the example of a devotee who performed devotional service in goodness, and also a devotee who performed it more in transcendence, that is pure devotional service. The fourth canto use these four pastimes. Where these four devotees who have done devotional service in these four levels are discussed. The first pastime is a Daksha who performed devotional service in mode of ignorance. The second pastime is a Dhruva who performed devotional service in passion. The third pastime is about Priti Maharaj, who is actually incarnation of 15 months, about the Shakti Avish Avatar, the Bhavana Shakti Avish Avatar of Krishna himself. He showed to the world what it means to be performing devotional service in mode of ignorance. And Pacheta, they are those who showed an example to the whole world about what is your devotional service. So you have these four pastimes. When you talk of ignorance, that means a devotee, he performs devotional service, it is true, Lord himself appeared in terms of Daksha. But after how much of hangama, after how much of chaos, just because of envy. A envious person, when a devotee is envious of another devotee, still the person, the devotee is chanting, he is worshipping the Lord and is getting different posts. He is actually sometimes he is preaching also. But because of enviousness, he creates a chaotic condition in his life as well as in everybody's life. So what you are seeing is actually the chaos which originated from the heart of Daksha, which was nothing but the envy towards Lord Shiva. So a devotee who has enviousness in the heart, you cannot say he's not a devotee. You can say definitely because he's not a pure devotee. But he's practicing the devotional service, devotional aspects. He's worshipping, maybe doing tapasya, and he got the post of being Prajapati. If you see, Daksha was a Prajapati. But in the next chapter, Brahma, he comes and then promotes Daksha Prajapati to be the chief of all Prajapatis. It is so strange how Brahma promoted a person who has accepted Lord Shiva and gave him the post of being the chief of all Prajapatis. Please don't mind. Some of the Acharya were told, post is the result of Vaishnava Aparadha. When somebody commits an offense, he gets a post. So Daksha was promoted to be the chief of the Prajapatis. In the next chapter, we will find that. So, just because somebody is promoted in the post of the material world, it doesn't make him somebody progress in devotional service. And on the other hand, somebody who is very powerful and influential, that doesn't mean that his activities are pure devotional service. That's very powerful, very influential, but still he had this service. And he is respected by many people. Just because some devotee is respected by many great personalities, that doesn't make him a pure devotee. As long as his envy is in the heart, pure devotional service cannot manifest. Rather, it is devotional service that things with this mode of ignorance, devotee mode of ignorance, performing devotional service, will naturally, by default, create this the condition because he offends. Inside Lord Shiva, you see that how Daksha, it was just a small act. It is not offense at all because Shiva is so exalted. He need not get up when Daksha would come because Shiva is always in the thinking of Krishna. He did not stand up just because one person did not stand up. Just see Daksha, how he starts cursing Lord Shiva. And hearing this, and Shiva started cursing. And hearing that, Bhuvu started cursing. So this is what is going on in this canto, or this particular section of this fourth canto. Dhruva Maharaj, where a person performs devotional service out of great burning desire. What is the desire? I want to get something which is more than my father or my friend or somebody. So performance of devotional service out of duty, that is Dhruva Maharaj. So enviousness, not of ignorance. And then you have desire, burning desire, that is passion, and just like the performance of duty, that is mode of goodness. And beyond the three, the pachyetas. The pachyetas, they perform devotional service without any motivation, without of love. So this is called pure devotional service. And very interestingly, Lord Shiva comes and gets insulted here in front of Daksha. And the exalted position of Lord Shiva is shown by Krishna by making Lord Shiva the guru or the teacher of pure devotional service. You see, the teacher of pure devotional service, Lord Shiva, is actually teaching pachyetas. You see, in the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, the end, we have Rudra Gita, I think it is the 26th chapter. There, Rudra Gita, the song of Lord Shiva. He is teaching pure devotional service to pachyetas in that particular section. So, Lord Shiva is such a pure devotee. He became the object of insult by a devotee mode of insolence. And in the same Lord Shiva, he is actually a teacher of to a devotional service. Sometimes when you read these verses, especially Guru cursing the devotees of Lord Shiva, you may think that devotees of Lord Shiva are like that. So maybe Lord Shiva may also be like that only. So the moment you hear the word Lord Shiva, by hearing these verses, be careful not to develop any kind of hatred to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, some of the devotees of Lord Shiva may be like the way what Bhrigu is telling, especially what we read in this particular section, 3-4 verses, where Bhrigu is cursing the devotees of Lord Shiva. Just because devotees of Lord Shiva are like that, one thing I request all of you, that never think Lord Shiva is also tainted with these things. Once I was giving a class about the three modes of material nature, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and all. And one person, he asked a question and told, Prabhuji, I want to know that Shiva does destruction because he is in the mode of ignorance. Oh, it is the greatest offense. Greater offense than what Daksha could have done. These three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesha, Lord Shiva, they are just controlling people with the modes of nature. That is, goodness is controlled by Lord Vishnu, and passion is controlled by Lord Brahma, and ignorance is controlled by Lord Shiva. Never ever say that Lord Shiva is in mode of ignorance. How can it be in mode of ignorance? How can Krishna assign destructive power to Lord Shiva until unless he is so transcendental? If at all there is a thing, it may be just mode of goodness. That's all. Because the power to destroy, the power to give punishment is only given to the most responsible person. Sometimes the Vaishnavas derogate Lord Shiva, say he is in mode of ignorance, or Shiva is a destroyer. See, Shiva is a destroyer because he is the most responsible person. That is why he is given the authority to destroy, authority to give punishment. Right? Authority to give punishment is given to a judge. Why is he given? Because he has the mental stability not to misuse his power of giving punishment. That means to control mode of ignorance, you should be in so much of goodness. To control, to use anger, to become angry is mode of ignorance. But to use anger, you need to be in such a mode of goodness that you cannot just imagine. Generally, we conditioned soul, we become angry. But Lord Shiva's anger is not becoming angry. He is using anger for a particular purpose. So he is a very exalted personality. Because I am talking all these things just to make us aware that while reading about this prasanga of greatness of Lord Shiva, never think this is Daksha prasanga, and the influence of Daksha should not be on us. Influence of Guru should not be on us. Whole purpose of this pastime is two things. Number one should not become a Shaiva. Number two, one should not become a Smartha. Smartha means Guru. They are only interested in chanting Vedas and doing some rituals and getting some dakshina and be happy in this life. So these are the followers of the Karmakanta followers. They are the Smartha. And some who are actually followers of Lord Shiva, without understanding the heart of Lord Shiva, they are generally called Shaivas. Of course, there are many varieties of Shaivas, which I will try to describe as I go to the explanation in these particular words. Now, the background of this whole scenario is going on here, where Nandeshwara is cursing the Brahmin, and here Dugu is cursing. Dugu is actually the source who is in charge of all the Brahmins. Brahmins come from actually Dugu Rishi, and Bhargava Gotra. So this Dugu Gotra, Bhargava Gotra, is actually the original Gotra of the Brahmins. And here we find each cursing each other. As Vaishnavas, we should know, this prasanga is meant to tell us neither you become a Shaiva, neither you become a Smartha. You become a Vaishnava. So for that purpose. And what is the behavior of Vaishnava? Lord Shiva, as soon as there is a curses and counterpulses going on, there, what happens? At the end, Vedas talk about Janardana. As soon as Vibhu told Vedas talk about Janardana, Lord Shiva said, now there will be curses going on the name of Janardana who is Vishnu. So Vishnu will be cursed. Vaishnavas will be cursed. I can tolerate curse on my name. I can tolerate anything which goes on my name, but I cannot tolerate somebody cursing Vishnu, somebody insulting Vishnu, somebody insulting Vaishnava. So Lord Shiva immediately left the arena. So by this behavior, Lord Shiva showed what it means to be a Vaishnava, number one. And also he showed that the reality of the Smarta, the reality of the so-called Shaivas. This is what Lord Shiva and this whole Prasanga is showing us. Sometimes Lord Shiva, the followers of Lord Shiva, the Kapadikas, and there are so many names which go by the followers of Lord Shiva, and those who are who actually live in function, because Lord Shiva lives there, and they eat human flesh. And there are so many Natha panthas, so many different panthas which go by. There are some who are actually, first they are supposed to go and then collect the human skull as a begging bowl. So many tamasic things which are there in Lord Shiva, followers of Lord Shiva. So here, these things are described to talk about how there are so many misconceptions about being spiritual. And the most prevalent misconception being spiritual is Shaivism. It is the greatest misconception of being spiritual. And this Shaivism, which has actually taken different forms, landed into Buddhism. And that Buddhism became more and more deviated, and they started thinking that by taking intoxication, I become spiritual. So the last misconception anybody can have by anybody can have about spirituality, about the process of spirituality. I can become spiritual by getting intoxicated. So it is very much prevalent in the world, especially when Prabhupada went to America. At that time, spiritual means being intoxicated. And to be spiritual, you need to get intoxicated. So we started from there. We started from the so-called Shaiva. And there are different levels in which they do intoxication. Like in India, in the Shivaratri time, they go on doing retreat. They go on doing Abhishek. So 1,000 times they offer Jala Abhishek, and they stand Rudri. So many times, so many things they do. But what is happening in the house or in the society, wherever all the Brahmins are coming and chanting, and inside they are cooking bhang. Whole night the bhang is being boiled and boiled and boiled, and all the Brahmins are singing bhang, and they feel that they are done something spiritual. So this is one kind of misconception of spirituality, that I am spiritual because I am taking some intoxication. And on the other hand, there is another kind of misconception of spirituality, that is being religious is spiritual. See, religiosity and spirituality, there are two distinct things. The smartest thing that I am following the Veda, I am chanting the Vedic mantra, and I am trying to be happy in this world by following the rules and regulations of the Veda. And what is the problem? I can be religious. That is what Veda says: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Anyway, moksha comes with the ultimate interest in dharma, artha, and kama. So they seem to be religious. So there are some who are actually on the name of Veda, they post to be spiritual. And there are some who actually post to be spiritual by giving up the Vedic injunctions. So whether you become non-spiritual by following Veda or not following Veda, ultimately spirituality is totally different from these two concepts of Shaivism and Smartha. So these two concepts. Now let us go to today's verse where Nandishwara is cursing. If we see the 28th verse, Nandishwara, he cursed. What is the curse? Pashan ditte bhavantu takshastra aripantinaha. So Nandishwara, he cursed. Bhrigu cursed all the followers of Lord Shiva. Nandishwara's curse is over now. Bhrigu took over the cursing mentality. His cursing mentality is actually contagious. So his Vaishnavas should be very careful about this contagious disease of curse. Curse, counter curse, curse, counter curse, it goes on. The Vaishnavas, they are not interested in this thing. Like in the previous verse, where a very beautiful statement in the Chaitanya Charitamrita has been mentioned in Prabhupada's purport. Yei bhala, yei nanda, yei sabuddhama. Oh, something is a curse, something is a benediction. To one who thinks like this, something is good and something is bad, is three illusions. A Vaishnava is beyond good and bad. Vaishnava is beyond all kinds of auspicious and inauspicious things. Because in this world, whether good or bad, both are material. And matter doesn't matter. This is the understanding of Vaishnava. Here we find Bhrigu takes the charge of cursing. After hearing Nandishwara's curses, he started cursing. He said, Namo Vratadhara Echa Ye Tatam Samanditaha Pashandiste Bhavantu Rakshastra Paripantinaha. Pashandiste Bhavantu. I curse that you all become atheists. There is a text by which way. And you become deviated from all the transcendental spiritual intentions. Now, in this verse, what was explained in the previous verse, that is the 28th verse, as Satshastra Paripantinaha. You give up the Satshastra, the injunctions, or the Vedic injunctions, which talks about advancement in spirituality, you give up. And how they give up, how you will give up, that is described, that is a subject matter of the 29th verse. That is, Nashtashucha Muradyo Jata Bhasma Pidharinaha Visham Tushadikshayam Yatrad Daivam Surakavam. So, 29th verse in the second chapter, fourth stanza, it says, Nashtashucha. The first thing which is required for being spiritual is to be clean, isn't it? Without cleanliness, then how can you be progress in spirituality? Because cleanliness brings you to the mode of goodness. And without coming to the platform mode of goodness, there is no question in spirituality. You cannot do any spiritual progress. That is why the first case is in Nashta Suchaha. And Brahmins are known for their sucha. You know Brahmins, whatever, Samodam, Tapaspautam. Brahmins are very much interested in being clean. So in South India, the Brahmins, they keep themselves very clean. But they keep outside their house everything dirty. So, cleanliness actually doesn't mean just you clean yourself. You have to clean the surroundings and be clean in every aspect. But Bhrigu is telling here that Nashtashaha, you will be devoid of all cleanliness. So these people who are actually so-called Shaivas, followers of Lord Shiva, they will take bath. The first thing what they do, they accept japa. Once you accept japa, you don't have to have a clean shave or be clean. So these people generally are japadharis. And there is a branch of those followers of Shiva. They don't take bath throughout life. They put bhasma on their body. Of course, there are certain rules of applying bhasma. Bhasma means whatever is there as a remnant of sacrifice. When you do a child sacrifice, the ash from the wood is left out. That is called bhasma. So they apply the bhasma on the body. So there are so many kinds of baths. You take Varunastan. Varunastan is taking bath with water. Simply, when you say take bath, it means take bath with water. But there are certain scriptures which talk about Agneya Snan. Agneya Snan means whatever the remnants of the sacrifice, the bhasma you apply on the body. So there is also a injunction in the scriptures, within the range of scriptures, where you take Agneya. Agneya means you put bhasma on the body. You just go on applying. Sometimes if you have gone to Kumbh Mela or you must have gone to Banaras, even still today, there are some who actually take bath, water bath. Once I had been to Banaras. Night time I was just chanting to see what exactly these people are. So I went to one ghat. I found there was one so-called Baba, Chatagari Baba. He was sitting on the bank of Ganga and he was doing some strange thing. I was chanting. And he looked at me and said, Hare Krishna, he told. He knew Hare Krishna. Then I just went and asked him, what are you doing? Then he told, I'm taking bath. I said, what are you taking? Ganga is flowing in front of you, right in front of you, and you are taking bath with this ash. And he told, that is my vow, that I will take bath with this ash and I will stay on the bank of Ganga. Yes, Ganga is flowing in front of him, so much of water, but he would never go to see Ganga. Maximum, sometimes he will put water on his jata, that's all. So this is called Nashta Suchaha. The day you are being Nashta Suchaha. Mudadiyaha. You become foolish. The result of being not clean is being foolish. You go into mode of ignorance. As you find people are so dirty. The principles of cleanliness are totally lost. And because of that, the intelligence becomes so dull. Mudadiyaha. And now, because of Mudadiyaha, they think by accepting jata, then what I become? I will become jada. Jada means totally unconscious to material existence, and I become spiritual. No, it is not going to happen. So jata, basma, asti, bharinaka. I spoke already about basma, and number 2 is asti. Whatever are the remnants there in the samshan, that is asti means the bone, they accept his bone. Asti bharinaha. Ishantu Shivadichayam. So I have some kind of information about Shivadichayam, what is mentioned here. So the Shivadicha is not so easy to get. Of course, you don't want to get it also, but for those who really want to get, you have to prove that they are the most dirty people. Then only the Guru will give Diksha. You have to prove that they are most tamasic. Then only you will get Diksha. So somebody may ask him, why are you so tamasic? And then you say spiritual. They say that by accepting those things in tamasic, I prove that I am not affected by matter. I can be spiritual in spite of accepting any kind of dress, being unclean. That means what? For you to become spiritual, you have to be clean. That means you are not really transcendental. You just see what an argument these Shaivas give, the so-called Shaivas give. Oh, for you to become spiritual, you have to be vegetarian, isn't it? You take only vegetarian. That means what? You are still connected with matter. I will prove that I am transcendental. I can eat a steak and still be spiritual. I am not affected because the soul has nothing to do with matter. Matter doesn't matter. So whatever I may eat, whatever I may do with this body doesn't matter. Still I can be spiritual. Just see how they change the philosophy for explaining whatever they are doing is true. Whatever they are doing is spiritual. Now going further, We have Visham to Shri Chaya, and this Shri Chaya, first thing which is told by the person who is actually giving so-called initiation is, and he has to go and find out the human skull. Just imagine, going to Samshan, and the human skull, he has to go house to house, and somewhere, wherever it is just dead, and the skull he has to put and eat. Just see how much it is. Yadichaya, Yatra Daivam, Puratavam. And doing all these things, when he is doing some kind of so-called initiation, they drink wine. What is the wine? There are two kinds of wine which are described here. It is called Shura and Asava. And what is this Shura and what is this Asava? That has to be, the Shura and Asava are like this. Asava is a liquor which is made up of the sap of a tal tree. Tal, tal bush. And there the sap comes down. And from that sap, and also there are similar plants also, they collect it and they make it asava. Pura is actually made from sugar, grain, and honey. You have sugar juice, and in that they put some grain, and then make it water, and then put some honey. And there's a whole process, all the liquor industry, they are making liquor from this stuff. It's not a new formula. So in this way, these people, they conduct their life in mode of ignorance. And in mode of ignorance, when they get drunk, they feel that I want some spiritual experience. Intoxication, spiritual experience, which actually the hippies have this formula. It all came from this particular so-called curse, which Prabhu is giving to all the followers of Lord Shiva. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he says here, he is also offered, according to Shaivagama, a scripture on the method of worshipping Lord Shiva. There are several scriptures. Rather, I would say there are several levels of scriptures which talk about worshipping Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva is a very interestingly multi-dimensional personality. And he has instructions. He has given instructions in different levels of scriptures, different kinds of people. All the way from the Samasika Tantra Shastras, all the black magic and all these scriptures, these Shastras are also spoken by Lord Shiva. Right from there, all the way till Bhagavatam, all the way till glorified Radha Krishna, Lord Shiva has addressed all kinds of people. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while glorifying Lord Shiva, he said that Shiva is a Sarva Gurave Namaha. There is a nice Greek verse called Shivastakam by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that he says, Sarva Gurave Namaha. Lord Shiva is the Guru to all the people in existence, all kinds of people. You want to know how to intoxicate? Lord Shiva says, I'll use picture for you. Oh, you want to know how to increase your enjoying tendency, more of ignorance? I'll use picture for you. You want to attain Krishna Prema? Okay, I'll use picture for you. So this is Lord Shiva's nature, that he has given the lowest kind of scripture called the Tantra Shastra, the Tantra. And also he has given the Hindu Shastras. And not only that, he has given Mati Shastra. The original speaker of the scriptures and dance art is Lord Shiva. And not only that, he has given the Gandharva Shastra and how to chant music. The entire grammar, what we study in Sanskrit, originally originated from the Dandri of Lord Shiva. The three sounds, based on the entire sounds, so the Sanskrit alphabets, the syllables and grammar, everything came out from him. And Lord Shiva not only is a speaker of quality, he is a speaker of how to worship Krishna. The Pancharatma scriptures, though we have different Pancharatmas, we have Narada Pancharatra. Sometimes people think Narada is the speaker in Narada Pancharatra. many parts that Lord Shiva is a speaker in Nara Pancharatra. The methodology of worship of Lord Krishna is also taught by Lord Shiva. That is why he is called Sarvagrave. And both the Pancharatra Giri as well as the Bhagavad Giri, the speaker is Lord Shiva. He is a exalted personality. So only one aspect of Lord Shiva, the Saiva Agama. As I mentioned about Saiva Agama. Agamas are those pictures which are emanated from the Vedic pictures. The emanations from the Agama means something which has come out somewhere and everywhere. So the Saiva Agamas are there, and the Saiva Agamas are also not of just one category. They are also of different levels of category. But what mentioned here is the lowest category of the Saivas. Shaivism is not just one thing. Within the Shaivism, there are so many different levels, you may say, of upgradation or degradation. But there are so many different levels. But what is being described here is that of the lowest category. But in spite of all these things, we should know there are some kind of Shaivas, so-called Shaivas, who are rejected from the mainstream Shaivagamas. They consider Shiva to be impersonal. So within the Shaivas also there is something called impersonalism. They are the most degraded among all the so-called Shaivas because they don't even consider Lord Shiva to be a person. Now that is what is described in the next. Rudimuni says, in the next verse, we'll do a 30th verse also because it is connected. Rudimuni says, I curse you to be atheist. Not required because he already atheist. How can I curse a dead person to die? A dead person need not be cursed to you die. He is already dead. So Guru says, Brahmata Brahmanam Saiva Yadyuyam Tamindataha Sritim Dharanam Tuntam Ataha Ashandamashitaha. You Ataha Ashandamashitaha. You already become a Pasandi. You already become a atheist. Before I curse you, you became atheist. And before I kill you, you are already dead. What is the use of killing you? What is the use of cursing you? Because you is a Brahmana, a very intelligent person. So he knows that anybody who rejects Veda is a atheist. Generally, the general meaning of atheist, Asandi, is one who doesn't accept the existence of God is atheist. But no, atheist is not just by not accepting God to become atheist. That is the wrong understanding. There are many people who accept existence of God, but still they are atheists. How can you say that? Because according to the Vedic literature, one who rejects Veda is atheist. One who rejects Veda is atheist. One who doesn't accept Veda as a pramana is atheist. Now, Krishna himself came as Buddha. One of the incarnations of Krishna is Buddha. Why we don't worship Buddha then? Because he is incarnation of Krishna. Why we should not worship? Yes, we should not worship. Why? Though he is Krishna, he rejected Veda. So in that incarnation, Krishna became atheist. So God himself became atheist. So we don't worship it. So for people who follow Vedic literatures, for them, Veda is more important than God himself. Even though he may be God, we don't worship him. Why? Because he rejected Veda. Sabda Brahma is very important. Now we know that Krishna incarnated as Dattatreya. His past comes in Bhagavad, he came as Dattatreya. So why we don't worship Dattatreya? Why so we worship Brahma, Narsimha, Vamana, all incarnations we worship? And why are we not worshipping Dattatreya? Because he is the wrong interpretation to Veda. So Veda is such a sacred thing for all of us, Vedic literatures, that anybody who actually views of Veda is a atheist. So just because they say, God is there, we believe in God, doesn't make them a atheistic person. They are atheistic people. As long as we don't accept Veda as a pramana, we are branded as atheists. So there is an atheistic person who may derive atheistic conclusions from the Veda, thinking Veda to be the perfect thing. So they are making an argument with them. But anybody who rejects Veda cannot be accepted as a theistic person, even though he may say, oh, I believe in God. So just by belief in God, nobody becomes a theist. And that is what Guru is telling here. He said, Brahmacha Brahman Shaiva Yajniyam Parinindataha. He is a Parinindataha. What do you do? Nindataha, just criticize. Parinindataha. One is the Brahman, that is Sabda Brahman, Veda, and you criticize the Brahmins. Since you criticize the Brahmins and the Veda, yes, you yam parinindataha setum nidaranam punisam. Especially the Vedas are setu. Setu means what? Against nature. Against Vedic principles are like a bridge for people to go back from life to God. And Vedas are such a wonderful thing that everybody has to take shelter of. Such Vedic principles, vidaranam pumsam ataha pashanti ashrita. You already taken shelter of atheism. Now, we have two kinds of people. One of those who are atheists who don't accept Veda, Buddhists. One of those who actually misinterpret Veda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a Bhakti. We are Mayavadis. Actually, Buddhists are better than you. At least they reject Veda. And you copy of the Veda. You are actually accepting and misinterpreting Veda. It is like a thief. Youth is also okay. But holy is becoming a thief. That is never okay. It cannot be accepted at all. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Paramapachari, that you must be your worse than Buddhists. So here we find that Guru cursing all the so-called Shaivas is actually atheism. So Shaivism is actually atheism because they do two kinds of things, reject Veda and misinterpret Veda. So those who misinterpret Veda, they are more dangerous than those who reject Veda. Of course, both are actually atheists only. But still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made this particular kind of distinction and then showed that better not accept Veda and be atheist rather than accept Veda and show to the entire world, oh, Veda says Shiva is God, Veda says I am God. So this kind of thing was more accepted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And ultimately, Guru said, I don't have to curse you anymore. I don't have to curse you anymore because you are already a thief. A thief, you should not even look at the thief. You should not even look at the person who doesn't accept Veda as Pramana. It is said in the scriptures, those who don't accept Veda as Pramana, if you see them, you have to go and take bath in Ganga. So it was such a strong invention. Non-Vedic means there was some place, before Madhvacharya appeared, non-Vedic means they would not even argue with them, they would not talk to them, because they are considered to be practically animals. So here, Guru, being a staunch follower of Veda, he said that you are already atheistic. I don't have to curse you anymore. No curse is required for you. Because the person who blasphemed the Vedas, you should not even waste your words talking to such a person. So in this way, Guru, he said that. Ultimately, essentially, 3 points we should remember. One is the glory of Lord Shiva, number one, which we discussed in the beginning of the class. Number two is that the purpose of the entire prasanga which is going on now, that is curses and the counter curses, is to tell all of us, the entire world, so neither you become a follower of Bhrigu, nor you become a follower of Nandi. That means you give up both Shaivism as well as Martha mentality and become Vaishnava. Your second point, ultimately, the glory of Veda. The glory of Veda is everything. Anybody who uses the Vedic inventions or use of Veda, though he may believe some so-called God, he is a theist. So these are the 3 points, essential points, which we discussed during this class. So we have some time, 4 or 5 minutes time. So anybody has got some questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamal Lochan Prabhuji, 100 Pranam, all good Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. This is Gunda Gopika from Atlanta. Prabhuji, when I am in a working Bhaktivedanta hospital, every day came in a temple, Mira Road temple, and hear your lecture. Then only I start my job. Thank you very much for a wonderful assistance. And with Pranam, all good Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such an enlightening class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the very, very wonderful class, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, you said like the people who don't follow the Vedas, they call atheists. That's what you said. Yeah. And also you said the people who dangerous, the people who follow the Veda, then who don't follow. So how it is that, Prabhuji?
Because I hope I understood this question. You mean to say that how is it that those who don't follow Vedas are atheists? Is that the question?
Yeah, and also like some people, they follow the Veda and they do like animal killing and so many things like
Yes.
Okay.
That means those people who accept Veda, but at the same time they don't know the purpose of Vedas. They don't know the proper understanding of the Vedas. Vedesa sarve rahame vidyo vedanta kritveda videyo chaham. So Krishna says that from the entire Vedas I am supposed to be known. So that is the answer which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sarvamatachari. He told Sarvamatachari that those who don't accept Veda, any of them are atheists. Or those who are robbing people, they any of them are thieves. But in the being a police, you are doing theft. That is more dangerous. So those who accept Veda, but they just go on doing animal sacrifice, so this what happens? Krishna becomes very angry. And then he comes as Buddha and then says, no Veda. Like, for example, you give some money or a knife to a child. Because the child says, no, I want to cut the fruit. But the child is misusing the knife or misusing the gun or whatever the thing is. Then what you do? You snatch it away from them. So Veda is a tool through which you can attain God. But when you misuse the Veda for some other purpose, what will happen? That is more dangerous than rejecting the Veda. Better the child doesn't have any gun or a knife rather than misusing it. So these people who are actually following the Veda and doing animal sacrifice, they are misusing the Veda. Especially animal sacrifice is not meant for people in the age of Kali. Veda itself says. But those who do these things, they are misusing the Veda. Vedas have been given for a particular purpose. When you misuse that, then you are more dangerous than a person who doesn't have Veda, who doesn't accept Veda. I hope I answered your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, in the text, you also mentioned that Vedas are more important than Krishna. How do we understand this, Prabhu?
Very good question. Because when Krishna himself came as Buddha, what did he say? No Veda. Nindasi yajnamide raha shati jatam. So Buddhists are called atheists. Not because they say no God. Of course, their philosophy says no God. But many Buddhists, they don't know that their philosophy says no God. Many Buddhists say Buddha is our God. Then they are not actually Buddhists actually. Buddhist core philosophy of Buddhism is that of but no God. But the question is, why is it that as Vaishnavas, you worship Narasimha, Vamana, you worship them? We glorify Buddha, but have you ever kept a deity of Buddha in worship? Did any of the four Vaishnava Sampradayas authorize it? All acharyas glorify Buddha, but not worship Buddha. Because in that particular incarnation, he rejected Veda, Shabda Brahma, and Dattatreya also. Dattatreya we don't worship. Why we don't worship Dattatreya? But we glorify Dattatreya in the Bhagavatam. Why we don't worship Dattatreya? Because he did not accept the principles of the Vedas and misinterpret the Vedas. And that is the reason. So even though Buddha is Krishna, because he did not accept Veda, we don't worship Krishna. We don't worship Buddha. So in this way, God, Krishna, can be only known through Veda. That is why Veda becomes more important than Krishna. Among literatures. Like, for example, if you for us in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, for us the holy name is more important than the name. Right? Because the person who has the name, he has given all his strength in the name. That is why, as much as the Nama is more powerful and important than Nami, in the same way, Veda, it is actually expansion of the holy name of the Lord, is more important than the object of the person in the Vedas. Because these two cannot be separate. Krishna is known only through the Vedas. Vedesya sarve ahamena vedyaha. It is known. Krishna can never be separated from the Vedas. Krishna cannot be separated from the holy name. Actually, if you see Krishna name and Krishna being separate, that is an offense. What is the second offense? The second offense is what? To see Krishna different from his name. To see Krishna different from his pastimes. To see them as different. So this is actually a teaching. To see Veda different from Krishna. To see the name of Krishna to be different from Krishna. That is what there are some people who are trying to say, we want to be Krishna conscious, but we don't want to follow Veda. We want to be Krishna conscious, but we don't want to follow what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Without Bhagavatam, we can be Krishna conscious. How is it possible? How is it possible? And that is why for as much as for us name of Krishna, he is more merciful, more important for us. In this way, there is a statement which actually emphasizes this point that you cannot have Krishna without Veda. Even if Krishna comes as Buddha, because he said no Veda, as Buddha, we don't worship Buddha. That is the answer for the question.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Now I'm clear about it. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam at G. Kamal Lochan Prabhuji. Please give your association regularly to us. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam. All good Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev.
Wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I request anybody else has any question or comments for Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, and glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was very wonderful. Thank you for your session, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. And I think no one has any question. We can end here. Let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa